Hi, how you doing? Well, I am back at home in Mount Pleasant, and I don't have anybody to record me, so I just did it on photo booth. So I guess this is probably okay with you. So, um, here I am to talk to you about satire and the different examples that you've given us so far. First off, satire is pretty much when somebody has some kind of difference or negative feeling towards some certain topic, and they decide to either write about it or make a movie or a show or something about it in some form of media, and usually take that subject to the extreme and show it in a form that will help people understand that it is not correct, such as in Idiocracy. All the examples that are used in that movie are of American culture uh, being kind of ridiculous in many cases. Um, One example is the fact that we are always taking trash and throwing it in giant piles in the middle of nowhere or to Canada. And that's one example of how in the movie he has the giant mountains of trash just everywhere, uh, and how that kind of correlates with each other. The second thing in Idiocracy, as an example, is how the president has all of this power, so much power over everyone, the future world, and how he has those tournaments where they're like in the giant coliseum. I can't remember what it was called. It's like restoration or something. I don't know. It wasn't restoration, but whatever it was. It was just kind of showing how like the president has all this power to like get things done and like do all these crazy things, like no matter what it is, and how he's kind of dumb himself, and how a lot of the times we don't necessarily pick presidents who are necessarily the most intelligent, but people who we feel more closely related to. So that was another issue kind of that he brought up in the movie. Also, another example that he talks about, or not talks about, but like they show in the movie, is the fact that all of these groups and organizations advertise everywhere, all over this new world, and how right now there's advertising everywhere, but he shows it to an extreme, such as the common satire form, shows it in an extreme where it's just like everywhere, all over, like all over the subways and like giant neon lights everywhere. It's really nuts. And another thing that he does really well is Starbucks. You know what I'm talking about. How Starbucks is always continually trying to please everyone, and how in the movie they end up pleasing people a lot more than normal. So that was really hilarious. Also in Harrison Bergeron, that did a very good job of doing a political satire and the same idea that we're trying to really equalize everyone in the world, or at least in the United States, and how they take it to the extreme again in Harrison Bergeron by literally equalizing everyone. Like if you're really smart, like hindering you by putting like the earpiece in and like shocking your brain so you can't understand. Also, like some of the other forms, like the ballerina dancers, how they had to have the weights on them so they couldn't dance, and just like making really pretty people wear masks. It's just very, very disturbing thought, but it's true on some level that we're really concentrated and worried on everyone being equal, when in reality, people who excel in certain areas should definitely do it themselves, and that's just like one of the things he's trying to bring up in the Harrison Bergeron story. But I think that was pretty much the main point in Harrison Bergeron. There weren't too many other things besides the equalization of all Americans. Also in Stephen Colbert, he's pretty much satiring what's the guy's name on, you know I'm talking about, Fox, that guy. He's you know, kind of doing the extreme of him, or even in some cases, you know, just a general extreme of Republicans and their views, and how he's always just like trying to trick people into saying certain things, and always like double or just like, you know, making them second think like their thoughts and stuff like that. And he's just being very the typical Republican conservative, always like being like, well, I love God or I love Jesus, which obviously is important, but it's just like kind of doing that kind of like a jokey joke version of it. And yeah, so that's the way he's satiring just like the conservative Republican point of view on his show. And then also we talked about U2, how they're taking their shows that were very like straightforward and progressive and just like, you know, this is how it should be, this is how we should do it, to everyone getting angry with them, and they're like, okay, we'll stop it. Then they come back and do all the satires, like with the devil like thing that Bono did, and how like all of them were wearing like weird outfits. Like The Edge was wearing something. I was wearing something crazy. Oh, he had like the big like mustache thing. Like he's like a hardcore like I don't know, like rock and roll man or something, wrestling. I don't know. Who knows? But it was just kind of, it was really interesting, and it was just, you know, kind of like trying to show that you know, this is really like what's happening. Like we shown it on stage, and pretty much seemed like for the most part like everyone was okay with it. Like whatever, like okay, cool, like this is awesome. But like for the people who understood, like this is a big deal. You know, they're satiring our nation and like what they've come to. Also with like all the other nations, like when Bono was talking about all the other like different things, like I gave the I hope I can give the neo-Nazis another whatever, dang it, the Holocaust, another Holocaust, and just like that kind of stuff. And it was just very interesting how they went about that, but just how effective and strong satire truly can be. Like South Park, like, you know, people aren't thinking about the issues necessarily, but like it's still being imprinted in your mind. You know, I still think about Canada as being like this ridiculous place, and how they have no real effect on America, and they satired it. You know, like all the cartoons, like World of Warcraft. Like when they had that episode, like it's just very good satire on that issue and everything going on with that. So very entertaining. That's what satire is. And how it's used, and I believe that's all you asked for in your email. But yeah, hope you have a great week, and I'll be hearing from you soon. Bye.